Thank you for joining me. This is the Darden Check-in. I'm Phil Dietz. Last Friday, I spoke to William Brandle. William is an architect with the firm. He's running projects for us, and he's been with us for about 7 years. Interestingly, William was a facilities director for a school district for a time, and we talked about what his mindset might be if he were still in that position during this time. He's also living in Mariposa right now, he and his wife. They got some land there in the mountains, and I was interested in how that was going and if he felt isolated. So, yeah, William's a good friend, and it was nice to talk to him and check in. Let's see how it went. Hello, William. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm okay. I got a phone call moments before this, and I was trying to finish that up before I got on the line with you. It feels like I go through moments where my days are crazy busy with emails. I'm getting a lot more emails lately. And then I have doldrums, just whole days where I don't hear anything, and it's like I'm out on an island. What have you experienced any of that during this time?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it seems like everybody hits send at the same time. And
Right.
I go to check my email, and I was thinking before I did it, I was all caught up, and I was going to be able to spend some time getting a lot done. And they're like, oh my gosh, here we go. I guess this is what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
But that's part of the process too. So, but yeah, same sort of thing.
How are you staying connected with everybody? Is it all email, or you find yourself doing a lot more phone calls too?
It's a lot of both, and there's some other apps, the Slack app, and there's another one that I've been using that it's just an instant messenger.
Sure.
Just the other ways to contact people. Zoom's a big one, and then with our structural engineer, we've been using Google Hangouts a little bit, and that has a screen sharing function, which is super helpful.
Nice. So kind of just a little bit of everything, it sounds like.
A little bit of everything. And as a matter of fact, it's something I'm going to take back to the office with me, because I think I don't do that enough, the screen sharing. And I spend a lot of time explaining where I'm looking at on a set of drawings, and then taking the time for them to get there and, oh, no, that's not it. It's over here. And just to do a screen share, it sets up super fast and just, be right there at the moment, talking about the same thing, looking at the same thing. So there's a lot of efficiency with that.
Yeah, I think everybody's become a little more resourceful. I talked to, I think it was Mike Fennessy about that a couple of weeks ago. All these new programs and new techniques for communicating and conveying, like what we normally would do in person, digitally. That's great. We're gonna have so many new tools in our tool chest for doing what we do.
I think so, and just the habit of using them, and knowing when to use them. Whereas before we weren't using some of these things arguably enough. Well, some people were. I wasn't. But now that's all we're using, and so we get to use like the best of both worlds when we finally come out of this. And I feel like it's just going to really accelerate our progress on things.
Yeah, I agree. So, anyway, hi, how you been?
I've been pretty good. And over here in Mariposa, under the dome.
Under the dome. You guys, now I've been to your house. It is, it's kind of in a mountainous area, a lot of trees, got some land, got some goats, so you guys are sort of isolated, I guess you could say. And I'm wondering, you're working at home now too. How's it been around the house? Are you guys just keeping spirits up? Do you feel isolated? Are you liking that? What's it been like?
It's maybe a love-hate relationship, I guess. Jess, she's still doing the drive. She's working during the week, so she's mostly not here. But one of the things that's kind of nice is that we do have a little bit of room here to spread out. And so like during my lunch, like I'll go take a walk and, just walk down the driveway and back, and, it's like a half-mile walk. So it's a
Right.
good sort of mental reset, and it's been beautiful lately. It's been like in the mid 70s, 80s, a little breezy. It's been real nice. So it's a good little mental reset, and I come back and I dig back in. So it's been kind of nice.
William, one of the interesting things about you is that for a time you worked as a facilities director for a school district. So with your background, what do you think your mindset would be during this time if you were still working for a school district?
Well, I know in my experience, the summer, you usually try and squeeze as many projects you can into summer break. And, every year it seems like that gets a little bit shorter, like 2.5 months or something is where you're usually left with. And right now, the upside of all this is that you have a lot of empty facilities. It's not the best reasoning for that, but it could potentially be an opportunity to do some work, get some construction projects done that you have a little bit more schedule flexibility with, simply because you don't have to work around students or classes or things like that. Generally, they're pretty empty.
That's an interesting point, especially modernizations, the kind of things that might interrupt the normal classes and students moving throughout the campus and things. You could do pretty easily now because there's nobody there, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have a commitment on how long that the facility is going to be empty, especially if it's going to be empty for the duration. But even think of like micro projects like painting. You wanted to paint the inside of a classroom, or you want to do a carpet replacement or stuff like that. You've got a little bit of time where you can fit that in, where otherwise you're having to somehow push all of that into the summer break along with all your other bigger facility projects. So it could potentially be an opportunity there, at least the way I see it.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's a good silver lining for this, for sure. And I'm sure there's other folks that see it that way too. Well, I might let you go. It's so darn nice outside. I might go sit out there for a bit.
Yeah, that sounds great. I might do the same. Bring the laptop out there. It's beautiful outside, so It'd be a good time for it.
All right, William. Well, thanks for your time and the chat. It was good to check in.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. It's good speaking with you.
Okay. Take care, man. Bye.
All right. Bye.
So it was a good call with William. Nice to check in and hear he's doing good. I hope everyone has a safe and productive work week. All the best. Thanks again for listening. This is Phil Dietz with the Darden Check-in.